Okay, so this video is inspired by Beyonce's song Pretty Hurts. And I listened to the song a few weeks ago and I watched the video, and the song gave you lots of information about being what Beyonce said was pretty. And the concept was pretty hurts. So first, I need to give a testimony about when I was a little girl. I grew up the youngest of 3 girls. My oldest sister is 12 years older than me. My middle sister is 4 years older than me, and I was the youngest of the 3 of us. My oldest sister was stunning. She was gorgeous. She was skinny. She never had any weight problems. Even her blemishes were cute blemishes. My middle sister was also gorgeous. She had brown hair and freckles. And there's this little phase that you go through in your life when you're a little girl. And it is the ugly duckling stage. Now, I was told as a little girl all the time, "Oh, she's so cute." They would tell my middle sister, "Oh, she looks better than you." And then I also would have friends that would say, "Oh, she looks better than you." Now, we hadn't asked. Neither one of us had asked. I hadn't asked her friends how I looked. I hadn't asked my friends how she looked. We didn't ask. I think in our own rights, we were who we were. We knew who we were, and we were different. And we weren't trying to compete for anything as far as looks. So anyhow, this is being a little girl. So I got to, it was about 6th grade. And in 6th grade, I had pretty thick, long hair. It was very thick. It was past my shoulders. Most of the girls in my school had long, pretty thick hair, so it wasn't like this standout special thing. The chocolate girls had long, pretty thick hair. There were chocolate, brown skin, beautiful girls whose hair was way longer than mine, way silkier than mine, way thicker than mine. There were caramel girls who also had hair that was longer than mine and thicker than mine, and wasn't always, you know, as little girls, our hair is usually more messy. And some of the girls' mothers would get their hair done, and some of us kind of had to struggle through our wild, frizzy froze that we had. So I wanted to say about 7th grade, I started to get acne. And no matter what I did, my face continued to break out every month, every week. I didn't have bumps all over my face, just right in my cheeks where it mattered, in the center of my face. And I would wash my face with all kinds of stuff. I used Noxzema. I used bar soaps. I tried, what was that stuff they had in a little kit that you could buy that they swore would just fix everyone's face. I can't remember what the product was, but I bought that too, and it was a real popular brand. I can't remember. It was a name brand. They had commercials and everything. I bought that. I went to Carson's and I bought $50 and $60 facial products. I'm saying in 6th grade, we tried everything, but my face didn't clear up. So I go to school, and there was a certain young guy that I had a crush on. And we talked on the phone every day, and we talked on the phone all the time. I had a crush on him. I think he liked me back. And then one day, for some odd reason, this guy who lived on my street called me up on the phone with the guy I had a crush on to tell me I was a dot-to-dot face. And he finished the conversation with, "And your sister looks better than you." Ouch, right? Pretty hurts. So there was that. So that was the shadowing of how it all started. Moving forward, I had a mother. My mother had 22 inches of her own hair on her head. It was long, it was full, it was silky, and she looked like a supermodel. I used to get so excited when Mom got dressed from work. By this time, I'm like 19 or 20. She would come home from work in her little power suits with her suave hair. I mean, she was just looking gorgeous. So I was so proud to have her as a mom. I'm like, look at her. Yes, look, Mom, you doing it. And I get my boyfriend. I'm like, look at her. Ain't she cute? Ain't my mom cute? Ain't she just, I'd be so proud, right? And that was the shadow that I lived in. Now, at no point did I feel the need to compare myself as my mother, because I simply couldn't. She was a grown woman. She paid grown bills, and she took care of her business. And so with that being said, she was my little hero. You know, she really was. I was proud of my mom because she was young, pretty, and beautiful. So, moving forward, by this time, I had cut all of my hair off. Like, I shaved it. I got a fade because I had done everything in the world to my hair. Like, I stayed in my hair. It went from long, medium, asymmetric to completely shaved off. And I loved it. I loved every hairstyle I ever wore because that's how I expressed myself. I've had it shaved all off and had it dyed blonde. I've had it shaved all off and had pin curls. I've had it shaved all off and I wore waves. Then I grew it back and I've had roller sets and braids and curls and wigs. I've done it all with my hair and I had a lot of fun doing it. I was in a hair show one year. I was asked to be in a hair show one year, and we got all dolled up and put on these fancy dresses. It was like this whole big shindig of, you know, it was like, if I can recall, it was me, a friend named Helen, her friend Krishan, her friend Christine. We all, and I believe Tanisha and Denise, we were all the models in this hair show. So if you ladies see this, you know, good times, good memory. So we were all dolled up and we had our hair just slammed, you know. And we get on stage and nobody showed up. It wasn't a waste. We took a couple nice pictures and then we got off. So why am I talking about pretty hurting? Where was the pain that came in? Well, the pain came in when I started to be compared to my sister, who had no skin problems. She just had freckles. I had acne. I had bad acne. There was nothing I could do to stop it. I had hormonal acne is what they call it, which means around your menstruation, your face breaks out. And there's no amount of washing it that will stop it. It'll help, but won't stop it. And so growing up, I kind of didn't focus on that so much because, you know, I had other blemishes on my face like these. I don't know if you can see them, but I have what I was in grammar school one day after I had caught the chicken pox, and I had these craters in my eyebrows, and I had one on my cheek and one on my face. And I went to school, and the little girl at school, she was just looking at me, just like. And so I asked him, like, why are you looking at me like that? And she was like, because you've got those holes in your face. And my mom told me to stay away from you. I mean, it was kind of over the top to me. I was like, you're really doing too much because these aren't contagious. They're old. Like, if you had seen them 3 or 4 weeks ago, you could have caught them. But these are the ones that I picked. I wasn't supposed to. And so now I have to carry a scar on my face for the rest of my life. And I never really did anything to try to get rid of the scars because I just lived with it. It didn't really make that much of a difference in my life, you know. They were there. They weren't going anywhere. I just couldn't sweat it that much. They're still there. I mean, you can barely see them now. But anyhow, moving forward. So then I was having a conversation with one of my sisters today. And we were talking about, you know, sometimes people can be jealous of you. And what she said was, people can be jealous of you because you're pretty. And I'm like, well, certainly I'm not pretty to everybody. And mostly the pretty they see is my enhancements. I put on a little makeup, a little lashes, and it'll do worlds of difference to your face. I mean, anybody essentially can put makeup on their face and some lashes and do their hair and look 10 times better. I just know everybody is capable of doing that. So I wouldn't go on to say that I was just drop dead, breathtakingly gorgeous. You know, I wouldn't say I was ugly, but I don't go, you know, I'm humble enough to know that I'm okay, you know, to look at. I've been called beautiful before. It's not something I'm commonly used to being called, but it's happened. But I wanted to say, as pertaining to people who may be jealous because of beauty, and then it goes back to pretty hurts. What I can say about being even slightly attractive is it hasn't gotten me anything in life. I don't get any extra perks from being pretty. I don't get treated better than the next person because I'm pretty. I get a lot of men wanting to use me for just my body, and they really have no other intentions. A lot of these men do not care about me, do not love me. And so I would go so far as to say, being pretty isn't something you should be jealous of, because it only has, it's fleeting. You can wash off some of this makeup and you can see that I don't have perfect skin and I have a gap in my teeth. I've been told so many times by so many people, oh, you should get braces. I have a nice smile, but it's not a perfect smile. I think I do it well. I was asked by a former friend not to ever change my teeth because my teeth made me me, and don't change your teeth for any reason in the world. And then again, I'm shown advertisements of how I could fix my teeth. And I suppose if I fix my teeth, I'd look better, but it's just not my focus right now. So when it comes to jealousy, I was just born this way. I simply like to go on lives looking presentable. There are times when I will do a complete live with no makeup, with my hair slicked back and my glasses on. I'm only have my glasses on right now because I can't see without them. So with that being stated, I know there are a lot of assumptions people could make and assume that because of the way I look, that I must be better in some way, which is simply not true. If I'm pretty, I must get things that they don't have access to, which is not true. If I'm pretty, your man may want me. He may find me just as attractive as you do and never have a desire to touch me. And just because I'm pretty doesn't mean I'm a manhunter. It doesn't mean because I'm pretty that I'm some thirsty creature that is so full of themselves that I think that I'm better. I have been through a lot. I don't have this massive ego about how I look. There are some times I, toot my own horn. I'm not in front of y'all, but it's okay when you like, I look cute today. That's innocent. Don't y'all all do that? You know when you look cute. You know when you done found the right shade makeup, the right shade lipstick, your hair on fleek, and you just feel good. Or you got on the perfect outfit. You just found the perfect outfit. You know, I just found me a little white jogging suit and Forever 21, and I'm loving it. So you do understand here that there are no perks. You know, maybe Beyonce getting some perks for her beauty, but her beauty costs a whole lot more than I do, and it's more intensive than I do, and she's more dedicated to the cause than I am. I would say Beyonce is beautiful, but she has a whole lot of money that can keep her looking that way. She can get any hairdo at any time, in any color, the way she wants it. She can buy any piece of clothes the way she wants it. And she's a phenomenal performer. So for Beyonce to say herself, pretty hurts, she's talking about the behind the scenes pain that comes with the process of getting pretty. And we're talking about full costume. The video was about when they're in the back room right before a pageant and they're getting ready to basically be measured, prattled, tinged and tunged and compared to a whole bunch of other people, which essentially showed you that if in fact we go on this pageant and we are all competing for one trophy, as if to say that if we don't get that one trophy, we failed today. And so in the video, Beyonce's getting ready and she's getting measured and poked and prodded and, you know, just real stuff that I think most people would not want to feel. They would not want to go through, because there's a certain humility, you know, there's a certain humility that goes with that. You have to watch the video to see what I mean, because I don't know if I'm doing it any justice. But what I want to say is, finally, pretty has not gotten anyone to be faithful to me. Pretty has not gotten anyone to love me. Pretty still single. Pretty nowhere near married. Pretty never been married. Pretty don't even have a man. No prospects. Pretty, if you say so. You know, looks only matter so much. And it upsets me to hear when people are particularly jealous of me, but they don't really know what it is like to be me. If they knew how many times I have laid in the bed and cried for days at a time, and hurt for days at a time, and been lonely for days at a time, and wanted a friend and couldn't find one. Nobody liked me. Nobody wanted to be bothered. It was just me and Jesus. And I had to sit and be okay with that. I had a son that wanted to be close to his daddy. I had another son who wanted to be with his friends all the time. I had another son that wanted to be with his grandma all the time. And it was, it's like, oh, okay, my children just want to be with everyone but me, There's this whole compete for grandma. You never could compete with grandma. Everyone's, oh, that's normal. Kids love their grandma. No, this is a little different. So, anyhow, you're sitting alone and you go back and forth from anguish to listening to the word, to sleeping, to frustration, to tiredness, and going through. And I'm telling people that people put so much weight on looks. I mean, I get it. Like, if you are going to try to date someone, it is imperative that you are attracted to them. So, looks matter, but they shouldn't be the only thing that matters. Because what if you date a beautiful jerk or a complete a-hole? That's fine. What if you date a loving, sweet, gentle, not so young looking man? I mean, he just literally looks like an old man. His face is age. His face is that of a senior citizen. But he's sweet and kind and generous and loving. Or you have this whole other thing that makes me sad. When you have male friends that are strictly just platonic friends to you. You've never had any relations of any type. You've never had any come close to having relations with them. These have just been totally like brothers to you. Friendships, you give church hugs, friendly hugs. You have not laid in the bed with this man. You barely will sit up on a couch and cuddle. That's how dedicated to being a friend with him you are. You not trying to send no mixed signals. You understand and I understand that we are just friends. And despite the fact that you are attractive and I am attractive, we can never be anything more than friends. And you know what sucks? Because even after all that is stated, they still try it. And if you turn them down and say, I love you like a brother, you still end up losing a friend. It's just not the same. It hurts the relationship. And it's frustrating because they can be attractive too, but you just don't see them like that. I have found there are a lot of guys that I thought were attractive, but I just wasn't into them. Pretty hurts. Pretty hurts when they see you and then they want to use you for your body, but they don't want to commit to you. They don't want to be in a relationship with you. They don't even want to be with just you. And the other day, and this one's really a trap. This guy, I think I went to high school with. I didn't know him in high school. But he messaged me, and, you know, he was paying me a lot of compliments and saying, you know, I really like to take you out, and, you know, I really like to experience life with you. You know, it sounded good at first, and I wasn't seeing anybody. And I had broke up with somebody a few years ago and barely talked to him. So it's just like, well, I see what you're talking about, but I need you to understand right now through the door, I'm in no condition to date right now. I just got out of a situation. I know it was 2 years ago. I'm trying to heal that. I have some, you know, I still care for them. I'm still trying to heal past that. And so the guy, you know, stopped messaging. And every so often he would check back in. I just wanted to see how you are. So this time he's like, you know, it's some underlying issues. You know, it's some underlying issues. There's something wrong with you. Why don't you let me take you? Why don't you let me take you out? Why don't you let me come see you? I think you got like bipolar or something. We can't never be nothing but friends. But why don't you let me come over there? I know I can make you feel, and yeah. And it went, wah, wah, wah. So this was the insult. You're pretty enough to have sex with, but I don't want to be bothered with you in any other way. So if you would just give yourself to me, I could hero dick you and solve all your problems while I'm actually creating more problems. And should I get the opportunity to do this, I'm going to leave you worse off than when I found you. So my reply is, you know, no thanks. My reply is, that was the most insulting come on I've ever heard in my life. So with that being stated, dude, I need you to just not check on me anymore. Don't even worry about it. I'm okay. I'm good, bro. I'm good. No, I'm gonna keep checking. No, don't keep checking on me, because what I didn't do is ask you to check on me. What I didn't do is find you. What I didn't do is talk about your underlying issues, because you got some too. So, I don't know if I should say this. I'm keeping it. This is truth. This really happened. This is truth. This really happened. This is a day in the life of being pretty. Being told, I could rock your world, but I don't want nothing else about you. So then that goes on to basically say, oh, all you are is pretty. I had an ex of mine say, you don't know how to do nothing but look good. And I'm like, thanks. Never mind all the degrees and certificates I have. Never mind I got a 3.0 in college. Never mind I've been going to school, you know, getting A's on all my papers, slamming all my assignments. I got a C this time, but I'm like, I'm about to walk. They told me to walk, you know, and I'm still hanging in there. I got a good major. All the stuff that I work on behind the scenes that they don't know about. They don't know how many times I spend in prayer. They don't know how many times I'm watching sermons. They don't know how many times I'm singing gospel music. They don't know how late I am up at night doing this video. I ain't even been to sleep tonight. But I wanted to post this video So, yeah, it's not peachy keen just because you're pretty. Your heart still get broke. People still cheat on you even if you're pretty. They'll mess around and go sleep with somebody that ain't real pretty on you. Sometimes they go sleep with somebody that's twice as pretty as you. Hair longer, butt bigger, breasts bigger, all of that. I've even seen a man date a girl, then break up with the girl, marry her best friend, and then he left her. Just trifling, you know? And they fall out friendship over it. I done seen a friend. I say I like somebody, and I may be not active, sexually active at that moment. She go from 3 days, she done went and sexed him. Pretty hurts. Because she was pretty too, but then it became some sort of competition. So that's the reality of it, because people will put you in a competition. You don't even know you competing with mud, but because they jealous of you and because they need to feel like they took something from you, or they're better than you, or they just, I can't begin to try to explain the mentality of these girls who will sit up in your face and pretend like they like you and be your friend and compliment you and then go sleep with your man. Pretty hurts. There's that. This isn't about the gospel truth, but this is just the truth about it. Now, let's talk about, maybe they're not jealous of how you look. Maybe they're jealous of what you have. If they knew all the years that I spent saving up to get what I have, if they knew the process of where I started from in a trailer, and then I moved into an apartment, and the apartment had mice, but it was brand new, renovated, but it was mice in it in my first apartment. And after a while, the mice sort of just took over, because the mice would like get in the back pantry and pretty much drop on all the food that, that was remaining there. So I essentially couldn't even use the food in the pantry because it had mouse droppings all over it. So that's just what I wanted to say. I mean, you never know. I went from a trailer, and I remember being in a trailer, it sounded like a pop can. And a trailer, you had to leave the heat and the lights on all night because it would get so cold at night. And you had to keep the heat on running all night long for days at a time when it was cold. And in the summer, it was way too hot in there. You had to have the air conditioner on every day, all day. You couldn't turn it off. I'm saying the sun go down, you still couldn't turn it off because it gets so hot. And I didn't exactly mind that. I'm just saying that's how it was being in the trailer. So you can imagine them bills got kept sort of high. You easily had a $400 bill just for the air conditioning. That wasn't even counting all the regular lights. So when I think of the things that I've lived through, and I'm like, you may want to be me, but you don't know how hard it is to be me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what ails my body. You don't know what kind of stuff I've inherited. You know, I have circadian rhythm problems where it is 4 in the morning and I have never been to sleep, reading the Bible, listening to the Bible, and I'm still up, feeling like it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't feel a wink of sleep. I'm peaceful though. I'm not mad about being up. I'm okay with it. I'm like, the house is quiet. Ain't disturbing nobody. It used to send me to the hospital. And sometimes I'll be up for 3 or 4 days at a time. But that's the kind of issues I have. When I do get some sleep, I get some good sleep. And this week I had some really good sleep. So I hope I help somebody. I just wanted to say, you know, jealousy is never good because it's not going to get what you feel you want from that person to you. And people like don't go out of their way to try to make you jealous. I just try to look presentable when I go online. When I have something important to say and I don't want to embarrass myself. Because there's sometimes when I get on here and I just got to say what I got to say, and I may not look cute that day. I may not have any makeup on that moment. I was 100% comfortable with just being who I am. My skin is not perfect. I have a facial routine that I do every day. I have facial masks that I put on my face very often, a couple times a month. I have special soap that I wash my face with. I drink a lot of water. I've been drinking some coffee too. That's probably why I can't sleep. But I'm saying I for the most part drink water. You'll never see me sitting in my room without a glass of water beside my bed. My older sister taught me that when I was a little girl. I would never see her in the house without a glass of water. She always had a glass of water with her everywhere she went. She always set a glass of water beside her bed every night. And she's been doing that ever since we was kids. And she still does it. And that's who I got it from. So I got my water beside my bed right now. I keep it beside my bed. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and go fill it up again. I don't stop drinking water. That's all I really drink is water. Because my skin will break out. It always has. This is like the first year of my life where my skin has been clear for the majority of the time. I have a few blemishes, but it took a long time just for me to get clear skin. It didn't matter how much I washed it, what products I used, because I would also pick it, and that would leave extra marks because, you know, you're picking bumps and then you squeezing them and it's brutalizing the skin, and then you picking them off with your nails and they try to grow back and you picking it again. You know, I was doing the most. It was nasty. I shouldn't have been picking my face like that, but I don't do that anymore. And I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't do it anymore. I'm just a little bit, I do it in a more less invasive way. But when it comes to being pretty, I wear wigs. I get my own hair done sometimes. My own hair is thick. It's not that long. I have a bob. It goes, it's below my chin. I have a chin length bob. I rarely wear it like that because I don't try to put a lot of heat in it because I've been really desperately trying to grow it out without damaging it. My hair is funky. It's like you could get it done today. It might last a full day, maybe even a week if I roll it and put on bonnets and wake up every 15 minutes at night and put the bonnet back on because that's the struggle. the bonnet falls off, the hair is all over my head, and I've ruined yet another hairdo. So part of what I like to do is just keep my hair in a protective style and wear wigs, because they are they give you the liberty to control your length, you know, go for the effect, the appeal that you want. You can go short, you can go long, you can go in any color you want, but right now I'm just wearing something that is close to my hair texture. Like my wig actually feels like my hair when I wear it. But that's all. I've been talking for 45 minutes, and I want you all to be blessed. Don't be jealous. I promise you, for everybody that you're jealous of, they got a horror story, or they got some disadvantage of what looking good has done to their life that's made it difficult.